Welcome to the next round of Big Thursday Night Modern at MagicCon Vienna. My name is Michael and joining me is Walter. We got our two players set up. To the left we have Christian with mono blue MERFOLK, and to the right we have Annie with mono green TRON. So Walter, what is a mono green TRON trying to do?
The mono green TRON is trying to TRON people. It's just at the moment most popular because it's the most consistent variant of TRON. What is great about mono green TRON is you get to play 5 basic forests, you get to play through all of the Ghost Quarters, Field of Ruins, Path to Exiles that are thrown at you, still able to get more lands, more basic lands out of your deck. You don't have any of the interactive pieces that you get by adding different colors like red, white, and black, but you don't really need it. What Annie has access to here in her mono green TRON list is one sweet Emrakul the Promised End, and other than that, it's pretty regular. We got for threats 2 Walking Ballista, 3 Worm Coils, 1 Worldbreaker, 2 Ulamog, 4 Khans, 2 Ugin the Spirit Dragons, and other than that, a lot of the classic TRON pieces. In terms of interaction, there's just 2 dismembers. And what is noticeable here, there's only 3 Oblivion Stones in Annie's list, while quite a few lists, I think the majority, tries to go for 4. She's only got 3 in terms of lands. There is no sweet late game land that sometimes gets played, like Gaia Reach Sanitarium, or what I've also seen is Seagate Wreckage. There's just a Ghost Quarter and a Sanctum as additional lands to get, in addition to the TRON lands in the basic forests. So yeah, it's just classic TRON fare. What about that MERFOLK deck? Anything special there?
It's the really great 4-off mono blue version of the deck. With the release of Ixalan and Rivals of Ixalan, there are now green and blue versions running around, but still the mono blue one is a really good choice for Modern Tournament. We have 4 Curse Catcher to counter early instant or sorcery interactions, or just slow your opponent down. Silver Chill Adapts to draw extra cards, Hopping off the Diets to bounce your opponent's creatures, but most likely not really that great in this matchup. Master of course the Masters, like Master of the Pearl Trident and Lord of Atlantis, and 4 Master of Waves for a really big finisher. The keycards in this matchup are not really the creature ones, but the spells. It's 2 Spell Pierce, really great, countering a turn 3 Khan, or countering Sylvan Scrying or something like that, or Oblivion Stone. Pretty sweet. And to keep mono green TRON off TRON, like most of the MERFOLK lists, he's playing 4 Spreading Seas, so bam, island, no TRON anymore. The mana base is pretty simple. 1 Oboro Palace in the Clouds, 4 Muta Walls, 4 Cavern of Souls. Usually players tend to play a little bit less, but 4 are still pretty fine, and 11 islands. So we will see how this match unfolds. So both players are shuffling up their decks currently, and the dice are being rolled. So we have an 11 for Christian. It's great for mono blue MERFOLK.
And a 4 by Annie, which means that Christian will be on the play. So we see what they can do. Annie, at least, she's got the fitting sleeves, mono green TRON in mono forest sleeves. And we've got unstable squirrels, which are always sweet. No squirrel tribal played by Christian, unfortunately, goes for the more boring fish. Squirrels better than fish at all times.
No.
Ever.
The fish tokens are more expensive than the MERFOLK
There is a fish token. There is a fish token in Masters 25 from Reefworm.
Oh, sweet. But MERFOLK tokens are less expensive than squirrel tokens. I think one of the most expensive tokens is some kind of weird special squirrel token from the old player rewards program.
Simply because you get to pair your deranged hermits in whatever format you play them with. Very rare squirrel tokens.
Yeah, okay. Stuff like that I find out when I cannot sleep. So
sure, that's good. It's good if you have problems sleeping. You at least use your time for magic lore, because that helps us for commentating here. So I'm very impressed by your effort here.
Thank you.
But yeah, what do you feel about this matchup in general, Michi, here?
I'm a MERFOK player by my own, and I've played several, I don't know, like 20, 30, 40 times against TRON decks, and it's a tough matchup, to be honest. It's really tough. It's a little bit better with the 8Cs versions, but you would think that a spreading Seas deck is insane against TRON, but not really that. You can have really cool draws where you disrupt the TRON player and get early pressure on board, but then you have like just not enough to finish it off, and then get just housed by an Oblivion Stone or Ugin, of course, exiling all your creatures, and you're just left there alone. What just came to my mind about Christian's list is he's not playing any Smuggler Copters.
Oh, no Copters, that sucks. But here Annie, 6 cards in, no land. And her 7th card, still no land. And no lander here for Annie, which will probably lead to a mulligan, but Christian has to decide first. I think he's pretty light on lands himself, right? I can't see many lands. Here I can see vials and I can see blue cards, not many lands. Here I feel.
I think one of the cards is a Bora Palace in the Clouds.
Okay, so he's keeping... Do you see, does he have a second lander? Or is he just keeping a one lander with the vial on the play here? I think that's what he's up to, right?
Looks like that.
Sure.
And it's perfectly fine, you can do that. He got Curse Catcher, a lot of Atlantis, Master of Pearl Trident, I think one Spell Pierce, I'm not quite sure about this one, and one Spreading Seas. So this is the hand he's looking for, actually. But if he doesn't get a second land, this
the vial won't
might
be
a
enough,
problem.
right? Yeah.
Can be enough, depends on the draw. But always when I play with MERFOK against TRON, they're like, oh, turn 3. Sweet. Didn't need to play any spells for that.
But this looks fine. We've got here just one land for Annie, but 2 sphere effects. And an Ulamog's top end, and she's keeping and scrying here.
Insta-scry to the top.
Insta-scry to top, good for her. And we see the vial here. Yeah, Insta-scry to top was 1 Tron land. Yeah, that's nice.
Of course, this is an Insta-scry to top. So while he's sticking up to 1 counter, he drew another Curse Catcher, so no second land yet. So most likely he's going to deploy Curse Catcher, and end of turn with Evo Vial, there will be a second Curse Catcher.
But no second land. No turn 2 Spreading Seas either here. He's playing a second vial with his mana here to use that, and then we'll see a Curse Catcher coming and a Relic drawn by Annie, also not great. Probably cracked for green here. Walking Ballista for 1. I mean, there's a Walking Ballista drawn. You could play it for 1, but here we just have another crack trying to dig for another Stirrings or something, but instead she drew a second Walking Ballista and just has to go with the Relic here, while Christian deploys, like we were talking about here, an end of turn Curse Catcher.
Yes, I think I would have played the Walking Ballista for 2 here. Or
for 1,
oh no, you cannot play the Walking Ballista for 1, of course not.
I would have considered playing it for 1 too, I agree here, but if you played it for 1...
you mean for 1 counter?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking about a mana cost,
sure. Same thing. I think I would have liked it a little bit more, simply because that Relic is just a delayed cantrip in this match.
Yeah. Pretty much that's what Relic is going to do. But we do see here the second land drop from Christian, and a lot of Atlantis is being deployed. Curse Catcher attacking for almighty 2 damage, putting Annie down to 18 life.
But just a pass here, no? 2-drop he's playing here.
No. I think I just would have played Spreading Seas here.
He's probably waiting to see more Tron pieces to get the right one, but I think he would like to be mana efficient, because there's 1 Tron piece, he just get rid of that one. It just means that Annie will take another turn to get Tron online again. But now we see here, at the end of turn, we got another Curse Catcher deployed here, and now the vials ticking up to 3 and 2 respectively here.
Yes, you know what 3 means? Mirror Reachery, another Lord effect.
Reachery is nice.
But the card he drew for this turn was most likely Master of Waves, which is insane, so he might be just sticking up Evil Vial for next turn Master of Waves.
But still no Spreading Seas here, and now Annie drew a 3rd land here. She's got access to a Sylvan Scrying here, I think.
Yeah, but you know what? If I would have had this pressure on board... Oh, okay, there's a Spell Pierce, so he didn't need
for
to...
the Sylvan Scrying. Yeah, this is looking pretty amazing here for... Annie is already packing up. She's seen enough There is no way to win from here. Perfect
Been
start
there,
for the
done
Merfolk
that,
player.
not
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Sure, but now sideboarding. What can Merfolk do in sideboarding? Because you said the matchup can be quite problematic for Merfolk. What has Christian has got access to here in order to improve that matchup post board?
He got 3 pieces of Ceremonious Protection, which is an instant for 1 and counters a colorless spell. I think it's a perfect fit for this matchup, and I would for sure board it in. Another great cards are like 2 Negates playing in this sideboard. I would board them, board them into, and most likely Echoing Truth. For like delaying Oblivion Stones or other nasty stuff, but I'm not really that sure about the Echoing Truth. And 3 Tidebinder Mages, but they don't do anything.
Thragtusk? Maybe Annie's boarding in a Thragtusk,
it might be for Thragtusk. If you don't want to play the Harping of the Tides, you can just board them out and side in Tidebinder Mages, because there is a little upside for the Tidebinder Mage and really no upside for Harping of the Tides.
You can tap Worldbreaker, except you can't because it's devoid. So.
It's devoid, so you really can't. But still, with Harping of the Tides, for example, and Marrow Witchery out, you can bounce in Wormcoil Engine, which would also be insane. So not quite sure yet, but I think 4 cards come out for sure, which will be the 4 Master of Waves, because in this matchup they are just too slow, and you need all your mana to disrupt the Tron player
and just beat them down quickly. Sure. Okay, and for Annie here, she's got quite a bit and a few pieces of early interaction in her sideboard that might improve her access to that game here. She's got 2 Spatial Contortions, which are great, 2 Warping Whales, which are meh, because most Merfolk have more than 1 power or toughness. It is reasonable. It's not very reasonable. I don't like it because it doesn't hit the Lords. It can hit Silvergill Adepts and Curse Catchers and so on. Doesn't sound great to me. You can try to hate the Vial, which I am not a fan of, with Nature's Claim. And then what is nice, I think, especially on the play, is Thought Knot Seer. I like that as another piece of interaction to just get rid of some Lords or something.
But maybe she's still boarding in some Artifact Tape, because usually mono blue Merfolk lists play Smuggler's Copter and Aether Vial. So maybe she's just boarding it in as a one-off, but...
she might board in some claims. I wouldn't hate it. In her main deck, there are a couple
Yes, I think I just saw claims being put into the main
Okay, deck. Sure. I think just you can shave some top, and Emerald Core, the Promised End, seems very unnecessary against Merfolk. Second Ulamog, probably don't need it either. And then just keep you more interactive and to the board threats here that you can get down earlier. Also, the main deck Relic is just needs to go, does not interact here in this matchup. But generally speaking, let's see. She had a clunky draw here, and he did on that match, and Christian had a very, very, very fluent one that just translated into a lot of damage early with that spell Pierce 2. Didn't have a lot of mana, but the virus developed his board here.
She was locked with 2 lands in the beginning, then try a 3rd land, but...
with only 1 Tron piece.
Yes, and she instantly recognizes, nah, never. I'm not doing this anymore because, too much damage.
Yes,
too much damage on board from Christian's side with his Merfolks and Lords and Master of Waves coming. So there was really no need to play any longer and just go straight to sideboarding and have a clear head there and more time to think during the next games of the match.
Do you think Thragtusk is an option here at all for Annie? Or do you think it's just too mopey in the Merfolk matchup because it's not blocking much?
It depends on which cards you want to borrow out. But Annie is playing, I think, 4 Walking Ballistas.
2 Walking Ballistas. Two Walking Ballistas, they're definitely going to stay in.
They have to stay in.
Great, their interaction.
Yes. Yeah. If there would have been any more in the sideboard, I would bother them in. Because they're just such a great deal. But elsewise,
I'm not a fan of the Worldbreaker. It's also pretty clunky. Yeah, you can kill a Mutavort, you can kill a Vial, but meh. I think Worldbreaker
no. Worldbreaker, you for sure bought in because it kills Spreading Seas.
I mean, she can't board it in. It's about whether it stays in. So stays in.
So I think it should stay in for sure. Because even if you assemble Tron, you still have a Spreading Seas out and...
I think this is a keep. A tower on the 7th draw here. Otherwise, only Forest, but I think she's got quite a few nice pieces of interaction here, including an Oblivion Stone, a Sylvan Scrying, and then an Ugin as the top end. So I think Annie will probably keep this here. If she hadn't drawn the tower on the last draw, she would have had to ship it back. But as is, this seems totally reasonable.
Yes, and Christian is giving 2 and his Trophy Storm versus Spraying Seas. He just says go. I think he has two or three more lands in his hand, but some creatures, a Spellbeer, Spraying Seas. So,
another Sylvan Scrying. So Annie will
great.
be heading straight for turn 4 Tron here, but no, not yet. Spellbeer is happening here. Nice. But she still has another Sylvan Scrying, and she's got the Oblivion Stone, and she's got another basic forest. And here's Silvergill Adept. The nice Rivals of Ixalan, whatever, open house, something.
I don't know how it's called
promo
currently.
version. But it is Rivals promo version.
But I think that's interesting that he left his Master of the Waves in the main deck.
Yeah, I
because
agree. On
I
the
think
draw especially.
key to winning this matchup is deploying early threats, disrupting your opponent.
Yep.
If you can't deploy early threats,
You
it doesn't
choose
matter
slow.
if it doesn't matter if you can disrupt your opponent.
They get there eventually, right? Yeah.
Tron is just like, okay, Sanctum of Ugin, Ulamog, Walking Ballista. It doesn't matter if 12 mana open like a Walking Ballista is GG.
Yep. And here, Annie is tutoring for another Tron piece here.
Sweet.
Which she will deploy for the turn, I assume, because that means she can draw another one. So we've got a power plant ready here.
And 2 Oblivion Stones in her hand are.
Is it 2 Oblivion Stones? I think it is. Was it 2 different artworks one? I saw one Iconic Masters one, I think. Was it from Iconic Masters? I'm pretty sure it was.
I don't know, but this really doesn't look good for Christian here, because even if he
Beating
now
down for
plays
2.
Spreading Seas, he left even the Kira Great Glass Spinner in. his
What
deck.
what did he board out? Or did he forget to cyber? Like, all of those cards seem very, very mopey in this matchup.
The only thing you need in this matchup is pressure and disruption, and it doesn't really matter if your opponent removes one of your creatures, because it's the turn.
But look at that! Annie's tower got Spreading Seas, and she just drew another tower off the top, and now she can just deploy an Oblivion Stone here, play the tower, have the Oblivion Stone ready to go next, and still she's only missing that mine to get Tron completed.
This is a picture perfect. Yes, a picture perfect example of a situation why you want to have early threats in MERFOLK and disruption to help them win you the game before Tron is assembled or big threats are being cast. Because now once Spreading Seas has been cast, but there is like a Silver Chill Adept as a threat on the board, which really does nothing. Yes.
Do you know what? He targeted the tower, which our weekly discussion, it's wrong. It's wrong, it's still wrong. You don't target the tower, there's a tower and the power plant out. You target the power plant because now, if Annie did not draw the tower, but then she completed Tron and she had to find that tower again in order to do so, then she would get more mana, which she's not able to now. And the Master is coming down, but the Master is just dying with all the tokens brought along to an Oblivion Stone at some point.
But you know what? No fifth. Oh, there's a fifth land. There's a forest.
There's another forest.
Yes.
I think you just play forest here. You say go, and then in the beginning of combat step or something, you crack it.
Yeah, and then Christian goes, ha, Trick Bind.
Yeah, I think.
No, not
I think you can crack it now. It doesn't really matter. She's playing around Trick Bind. You're also killing that. You're also killing that Spreading
I'm
Seas.
pretty sure she's not playing around Trick Bite. She just recognizes that it doesn't matter. It does not really matter.
There's no haste creatures in the MERFOLK deck.
And
There's no Vile out.
No. Yeah, if there would have been a Vile out,
You obviously wait.
Yes.
Because otherwise you get... No, you can't.
But
Even with the Vile out, it's fine. Now Kira. Wind Drake incoming. It's pretty much only Wind Drake here, right, on this board.
Oh yeah, I just remember the card from 7th edition. I'm not sure about this. 2/2 flying for 2 generic and 1 blue R. It's got double casting cost, so it's a little bit worse.
Okay, I'm not sure what that name was. Yeah.
So currently 4 damage on the board for MERFOLK Master Christian.
But Annie is able to complete Tron and have 7 mana up here. Which means she can just if she wants to, can just probably tick up on this board, eat a card out of Christian's hand, because you can't really target anything.
You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, she should go for last missing Tron piece. play
She
calm.
actually has 8 mana because obviously she doesn't have to tap the second tower. She just completes Tron with the mine here. And
No Ugin in hand, or? So, Christian is checking
I
his hand.
think there might be an Ugin hiding there. I think
Ugin would be perfect.
Ugin would be great. Ugin -3, GG. Yep, that's happening. She has the Ugin.
this
I
is
saw
a
it in
GG.
her opening hand.
MERFOK cannot handle Ugin.
Nothing can handle
Dot.
Ugin. Also, those cards should be exiled. Doesn't matter too much here.
No.
But the thing is, what matters is Annie's on 16 life. There is nothing on the board for Christian, and she's got Ugin on 4, healthy and steady. Mutavoid is nice against Ugin, but not if it gets deployed right after the Ugin. It needs to kill Ugin immediately. Another Master of Waves with a third one in hand. It's like, why are you keeping all of those in? It seems so clunky. 3 Master of Waves here, and now it's bringing 1 elemental with it.
Yeah, and we're using Unsancted of Ugin here from Annie, Ancient Stories.
Yep, and she's got Ulamog.
Oh boy. Yeah, this game is basically over.
This game is more than over. Yeah.
I've been in this situation
You
quite
just
a few times.
Cast Ulamog, get another Ulamog unless you bought it out. The second Ulamog, if you bought it out, the second Ulamog,
Yes,
you get
and a
something
Merfolk
else.
player, you're like, you're losing. Usually, if Ugin is being deployed,
Yeah,
you
she's
do
going
not
after
have-
Master and the Mutavoid, and Christian is just packing it up because why? Keep
GG.
playing here. No shot here, maybe. Let's see if he's going to reconsider his sideboarding after what happened here, because all his threats seemed super mopey, but he's just shuffling straight up again, I feel. So what could he have taken out? We saw 3 Masters as well. We saw at least 1 Kira.
Yes, we did not see Having of the Tides.
He could have
the smooth little blood
prioritized
bouncer.
the Harbingers, but Harbinger just costs 2 mana. It's still a,
Yes.
a Grizzly Bear. Seems still better than a 4 mana clunk thing.
A Grizzly Bear which can bounce like Remcroll Engine
It's
with
definitely, with what?
Reachery out.
Yeah.
I would board out this Master of Waves. Kira Great Glass Spinner is not really that pressure.
It's not a lot of
it's
pressure,
not.
yeah.
It's not applying a lot of pressure, and he's playing Spell Pierce, which is better because he can play like other things like 2 mana Silver Chill Adepts, etc. Start attacking, and then if a Khan comes, he's like, Spell Pierce, or if Sylvan's crying, oh sweet, Spell Pierce that. But now Christian is being on the play, and Curse Catcher is amazing on the play against.
Curse Catcher gets all the stirrings and Sylvan's cryings there are.
Yeah. You know what's also would be amazing on the draw against Monochrome Tron, or against most of the Tron decks except Eldrazi Tron? Chalice of the Void. It's such a great damper boost.
You
If
mean on the
can-
play?
Yes, on the
Yeah,
play.
you
not on
need
the
to have
draw.
it on the play.
No, on the draw it's
But there's no chalices in Christian sideboard, right?
Nah, there
Nope,
none.
0 chalices here. So he can't get Annie with a surprise chalice going to strand all those stars and spheres and so on in her hand. And now we have players shuffling their opponent's decks, and then they'll be ready. Let's see what will happen here in game 3. If there is more happening, because both games so far have seemed pretty lopsided here. Looks good. 2 Stirrings and Oblivion Stone, 3 Stirrings, Oblivion Stone, a Tron piece. I'm going to keep this hand always, I think.
And the search-
Expedition Map,
Expedition
sure,
Map.
yeah.
Thank you very much. I cannot remember this card name. Christian is shuffling up here. I did not see what he drew for.
But he's
his
just
first seven
he's
cards.
just mulliganing straight away.
Yes, he's mulliganing straight away.
His Squirrel's not bringing him luck.
It's better than mulliganing with 8-wack, but still, you really do not.
Your cards are a bit more powerful individually,
Yes.
that's true. They're not all just 1/1s, but still you got Lord effects which make your cards better collectively as
MERFOK.
well. But yeah.
MERFOK is a deck working best if you know each card of your deck and use it to the max. Actually, this needs to be done for this deck to be successful. So you need to play the right cards. You need to play them right.
You need to sequence them correctly.
Yes,
yeah.
you need to sequence them correctly. MERFOK is getting a little advantage by little. So just tiny little steps up the ladder. And you need to take most, in the best case, all of them for good results.
Definitely, because it's a very, very much synergy-based deck. You need to really milk the small percentages here.
Yes.
And a mild a scry to the bottom here on the March 6th?
No, not decided
okay.
yet. Still,
No, he is
there,
scrying
yes.
to the bottom. He was just reconsidering, double checking.
So Island Go, sadly
Wow,
no
and the ballista drawn for Annie here. And she can just start with the map, no repercussions here. Oh, she's starting with the star instead. Okay.
Yeah, because she got nothing to play second turn.
So second turn she can just deploy 2 Stirlings, right?
Yes.
Which is probably a good thing to do. She can deploy Stirlings 1, and then if she doesn't hit a second Tron piece, she can deploy Stirlings 2. Mutavolt here and
Silver Chill at that.
yeah,
Great play here
revealing
from Christian.
Harbinger. So Harbinger is still in the deck too. So maybe Christian wrote down his sideboard here on his deck list and forgot about it, or he just trimmed some pieces and we're not completely sure. But all of the cards that including Michi, the fish expert, resident fish expert
I don't
here,
really know, because you want to have pressure on the board, you want to have curse catchers to counter like nasty stuff like Sylvan's Crying.
Because he brought in negates. He definitely brought in negates. Just
Yeah.
saw a negate in his hand here.
And
Happened
Ceremonious
to
Rejection.
reveal. Ooh, do you know what Ani top decked here is?
Oh, Sylvan.
Sylvan's Crying. Which you can just deploy here for a second Tron piece.
I would deploy it instantly here.
But she's going for Stirrings instead because she can double spare them. And maybe the Stirrings... Yeah, Stirrings is nice because Stirrings means you likely to find another Tron piece, which means then you know which one to look for as a third one.
Yes, but you know what? Let me think. She can... Okay, now she needs...
So now she can play the map.
Expedition.
Now she can play the
But
map, and she has Tron next
You
turn.
know, but you know what? Christian plays Curse Catchers, so I would have played the Sylvan's Crying this turn. I can play Ancient Stern.
The thing is, you can't play turn 3 Tron then,
Doesn't
and
need to
now
play turn
you
3 Tron.
can. But the thing is, I'm not sure. With Tron, it might be the greed might
No,
pay off.
it does not matter here. There is literally no pressure on board.
Yeah.
It's just like 4 damage is going down to 16
Yeah.
life on third turn. And for this attack, Christian has to tap himself out, so he's just 1 Ceremonious Rejection open. Yeah.
But she's got that Walking Ballista. Getting
Which is
that
pretty
turn
good.
3 Tron means you just get to whack a huge Walking Ballista shot. Look what she's doing now. Now she's not finding a Tron piece, and now she's just has to...
Sylvan's Crying here.
She just can cast the Scrying and cast the tower. Or play the tower on the same turn, which is what she's going to do.
Sweet.
Scrying tower, and then she can still deploy that map and even crack that map if she still has that map.
That's why you don't fetch out tower first. So now
Yeah.
she got 3
Which means
3
that
mana.
she can just, she can crack map this turn if she feels like it, can get a Ghost Porter. Get rid of that Mutavolt if it proves too annoying. I would get the Ghost Porter here.
No, I would not get a Ghost Quarter here.
You wanna get a random Tron piece?
I'm not a random Tron piece. I'm not quite sure if I would crack it here. If I would... It's
Does
quite
she still
difficult
have the map?
because
Even or
she-
did we mistake the
No,
map
no,
or
no.
something?
She does have an expedition map in hand.
Okay.
But
But it's so mana efficient because the next
it
turns
is.
you get to
But you know what?
Scrying and
If he's going to Spreading Seas a land, it's war. It
Yeah, no,
looks-
you're right. She's playing the map and passing. Yeah,
that's
nice.
the right play.
Yeah. She just is like, if Spreading Seas comes, I'm going to get it. This is my map. It's my backup. Deal with it. Sure. I just love to be mana efficient too much, but I agree with you here, with you and Annie, that was the right play here. Yeah.
Being mana efficient is not always the thing to go. So we do see Christian has one Lot of Atlantis in his hand.
He has negate as
One
well.
negate, 1 Ceremonious Rejection,
Ooh.
1 Master of Pearl Trident.
That
and,
looks that's looking
Harbinger.
good. Now he can just hit for 4 and he's got a 4-turn clock down and he can just milk his counter magic. But do you know what?
Yeah, but it's just 2 counters and it's a 4-turn clock. So
Yeah.
this doesn't work.
And Walking Ballista is a must counter. That's already
Sure.
in his hand here.
Ceremonious
Let's see.
Rejection.
Right now, you probably... Yeah, you can counter with Ceremonious
Yes,
Rejection.
but I would not play the Walking Ballista first. I would play first the Wormcall engine.
Yeah.
Because if this is being countered whatsoever, then the way is clear for Walking Ballista, which is like...
Yeah. Also, the thing is that Annie can also still resolve an end. I really like that playing the Walking Ballista without making a land drop. She can just go Forest Ancient Stirrings in her after that counter happens. And I think the counter needs to happen because how do you beat the one
she
card?
just produced 7 mana,
Yeah.
so she just needs to use 6 mana for
Yeah.
One Call Engine. Basically, she could just go another tower and play Walking Ballista, and Christian might have been thinking about that.
Walking Ballista for 2? Yeah.
But this would have been an insane turn
Do you
for
play
her.
Walking Ballista for 2 or do you play the Stirrings? If you play the Stirrings
I
and you hit a
only-
Spherus die, you
I-
can also play it and you have a huge
Yes.
Ballista coming the next turn. I think I like that play even more.
You play it if you need to play it.
But she doesn't need to play it.
No, she doesn't.
She's on
need to play
12.
it. She's on 12. She got all the time in the world.
She can just go for it. But she's looking at a Ballista, she's looking at the Forest, she's considering the play. I like the Forest Stirrings play more, yeah.
No, because next turn she still can double spell. And,
Yeah, and
do the
she's
same
going
thing.
to find another huge spell very likely of that Stirrings.
I think I just saw a second ceremonious rejection in
Ooh.
Christian hand.
So he drew one for his turn.
I'm not quite
Okay.
sure about it, but
Stirrings
this would
is
be
happening.
amazing.
There is no way Christian can't negate it because
Spell
he
pierce.
does not. Yeah, I didn't see a spell pierce earlier, so it's very unlikely as one in his hand now, especially if he drew the second rejection. Can't play the negate, and now we see what Annie finds
She has
here.
another land in hand, or no?
She played that forest for the turn. She's got another forest in hand.
Oh.
The thing is, what is she
no.
looking at? She's looking at an Ulamog here. And the Ulamog next turn, it's not coming down unless she has another Tron land without cracking the map.
But
Then she would be up to
you know
10.
what? Maybe she should still take the Ulmark because next turn
Depends
she can
what her other
deploy
options are, yeah.
Walking Ballista and search for the missing land. And she no, she has another Trumpet in hand.
She has another Trumpet in hand,
Yes.
okay. Then this is pretty close to game over again if Christian can't put a lot of pressure on him, because it doesn't matter if he's able to counter that Ulamog with a second rejection if he hasn't got any
He
pressure left on
needs to
board.
have a Spreading Seas in hand right now.
But he doesn't.
Because most of you will notice Ulamog doesn't have a come into play trigger, it has a cast trigger. So even if he's countered, 2 permanents are getting exiled, are being exiled.
And those permanents are conveniently all those ones that can deal damage, like Immutable Ward and the Silver Gill added, or any other pressure-inducing, pressure-producing permanent put onto the play here.
You know what? If there's not another permanent being deployed by Christian this turn, I would go for 2 lands. Oh,
But
there's
there
a Spreading
is the
Seas.
Spreading
So, which one
Seas.
is being targeted?
The tower,
Tower.
he's targeting the tower again. We need to do some teetering here for Christian and anti-Tron measures. Don't target the tower, guys. Bad feels. Doesn't often matter. When it matters, you will, like what we would say in Austria, you will bite your own ass, because that's what you do. You feel silly about yourself, and then you might do that if you are somehow, in terms of your physical flexibility, able to do it. Otherwise, you might just hate yourself for a little bit. Still not fun. Don't target the tower. But we see, what is Annie actually able to do here now on her turn?
Search a tower. Has
Search
5
up for a
open
tower
mana,
and then just
5
play the
mana,
Ballista.
Walking Ballista for 2.
And
Ancient
yeah,
Stirrings, maybe she has some.
yeah, she's got a second stirring.
Oh no, she cannot play second Ancient Stirrings without a second green source, and she needs the green source to dig up the tower.
But if she digs up the tower, she's got a 7 in her pool, which means she can play the Ballista for 3 even, because she just taps the
yeah, sure.
She taps Island and Forest, right?
I'm sorry, people who are watching this. I completely forgot that under the Spreading Seas there is an island.
Spreading Seas is not strip mine at cantrips. It's very good, but it's not strip mine at cantrips, because that would kind of be too good.
insane.
Cantripping strip mine for 2
Yeah,
mana,
it's
that's not a
basically
land, yeah.
cheating.
But yeah, we see the Lord deployed here, and now just a hit for 3, and it down to 9. And was that no, that was a sphere she found here. Let's see if she can come up with something better, but she definitely has the fallback plan we were talking about.
Now
with
is the
Ballista for
turn
3.
where she needs to get things going.
Yeah, because
Yes.
otherwise she's just close to dying. But the thing is,
Yeah, she's
Ballista,
1 life short of dying. If Christian draws another Lord effect,
Yeah.
GG. All of the Lord effects are okay.
Ballista for
Witchery-
3 is nice, but she just, wow, she's just not even playing she's just playing the Ballista for 2 so that she can also get the Stirrings down because she has Ulamog next turn. She's like, I don't care for Tron this turn. I'm not dying. I just set up for a huge next turn, and I think this might pay off because she found Ugin here.
Wow.
But Ugin might get negated because there's still that negate in his hand. Ugin is risky against negate, but right now what she can do here is simply just block somewhere and then kill a lord or something if there's no second lord, which means that at most she's going to take 2 damage if all the creatures attack. So this is
but you know what? This
bit
is
risky.
It's risky. It's really, really risky because I rather would have seen a great 3/3 walking ballista, because a 3/3 walking ballista blocks a lot of Atlantis.
Yeah, 3/3 walking, a 2/2 walking ballista puts a lot of pressure on Annie's next turn. It stabilizes for now for this turn, but the 3/3 just does more on the board long term, while right now her next turn has to deliver, and she's still thinking, and she is taking that Ugin. Had a long, hard think about it, but Ugin's still the best option. But let's see how this unfolds.
She didn't
here.
play the land, or no? She played.
She played the
land
second. She played the second power plant. Of course, she did, because otherwise she would have not been able to use those 5 mana.
But you know what? With a Mutterwald out, she can still lose. Oh no, okay. This is the play I was talking about. This is not really, really better for Annie.
Now, do you need to respond? Do you need to, in response,
Yes, you
just
need to
shoot
respond.
shoot the other lord?
She needs to shoot the other lord, because elsewise all of the creatures will have Island Walk, and she cannot block it and will die.
The
on
creature
spot.
still will have Island Walk, but she's
No.
just going to take 6.
No, yeah, the creature still, but the lord doesn't have Island Walk too, which would have been lethal.
Yeah, of course. Right now
And
she's going to go down to 3, and if Christian attacks with Mutterward here, do you think he's going to attack, or do you think he's holding up negate? Because if he attacks, he can't attack, right? He knows about that.
He will not
Ugin.
attack. He knows about the Ugin, and he will not attack with
Because that Mutterward would have only been a 2 damage, 2 points of potential damage. Meaning that if there would not be another lord after that, Ugin would survive at 1.
Yes, and you know what? Walking Ballista for 3 would have been insane. But she did.
She drew the natural Tron, so that is just Ulamog time.
So she should take out, in this case, Mutterwald and Master of the Bell Trident, and just simply pass the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Definitely. She didn't need to think about it for long at all. Simply because the Ugin deals with the Silvergill Adept, while Ugin does not deal with the Mutterward. I totally agree with that here. And there was no second ceremonious rejection here.
But yeah, no second ceremonious rejection.
So Ulamog is on the board, which means without a lord there is not even any damage on the board here for Christian. Just passing back is like, you're sitting on the gate, and it's like, yeah, sure.
And he knows that she still has an Ugin in
Yeah.
hand. Well, another land, a lot of mana being played, 2 tower, blah blah, 6, 10, no.
No, the 1 tower is
Bang.
not happening. Ugin gets negated. She's like, sure. Okay.
Yeah, negate resolves.
And then there is still more mana
Oblivion
here.
Stone. I will play Oblivion Stone here.
Well, you can't crack it. I think it would disguise the Oblivion Stone. Just play the sphere and then crack the mana.
No, why?
Because you can't use it this time.
You put fate counters on every on your.
You
no,
can't
it
do
doesn't
anything with it yet. You can't put a fate counter. Also,
This
Ulamog
is
is
true.
indestructible.
Yeah.
Ulamog doesn't need fate
I
counters.
do know that.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped talking.
But now we have an attack. A nice exile mill for 20. So, wow. We didn't... Yeah. Still Masters in the deck. No other... Still Kira's in the deck.
Still
I'm
at
not
least
sure.
one Marrow Reachery.
I think he might have boarded out Curse Catchers, and I don't love it. I really don't like it, because I haven't seen Curse
Great
Catchers
card
any
in-
of the post-ball
Great
games
card
here.
in this matchup. Really great card. I like it in this matchup.
And now, yeah, she is deploying the Oblivion Stone.
You know why?
post-board,
Because
yeah. Play around the gate and rejection, sure, yeah.
yes, and as soon as it's in play, it only costs 5 instead of 8 mana to activate.
It always costs 5 to activate. It just costs 3 to cast.
Yeah, free to cast it, but you need 8 mana to for being able to activate.
Yeah, I mean,
it.
mana is not really an issue for Annie.
No,
if she
not
went
really.
with the other thing, she could have gotten another Tron land, and she would be up to, like...
The only thing in this matchup which could happen is in Hercules Recall, and this does not matter. And this list is not even playing one.
Also, Hercules Recall just still means you're probably dying to this Ulamo.
And she cannot even bounce it here with Hopping of the Dead. Bad would be a really bad decision. You could think about bouncing it with another Spreading Seas and Oblivion Stone not being in play.
This just looks bad.
This,
it's like if you bounce it, it just gets recast, and then you have nothing left in play. Then both your things get exiled.
You are, this is a losing situation for the MERFOLK player. Sadly, I like MERFOLK, but this situation with Ulamog is just too overwhelming.
Yeah, there was just not enough pressure. This game, it was right here, but Annie's risky turn still paid off with that Walking Ballista for 2. That was that turn. On this turn, Christian could have done something, could have put additional pressure on his opponent, but he couldn't, and after that, it was smooth sailing for Annie, right? Because Ulamog just does that.
Yes. So she's looking at her lands.
Yeah, she tapped Island to play Sphere. Sphere is just going to cycle another Oblivion Stone. I think this is the
so you can put
one.
with one a fate counter on the...
You can put a fate counter with one Oblivion Stone on the other, and then they're not going to die. You can definitely do that. I'm not sure if the TRON player needs to get that fancy here, because I think that she's probably got that game locked up with less fanciness. I think you just attack with Ulamog and then you pass the turn. Yeah.
What will happen is he needs to jump lock with Harbinger. I'm really not sure if this is a may or a must trigger on this card.
With bouncing, yeah.
Yes, and he cannot return his own creature.
No, because it's only opponent's creature.
Opponents, yes. So I would go for the swing, because to be dead on the back swing, Christian would need 2 Lord effects.
But there's Oblivion Stone on the board.
Yeah, still. There's still Oblivion Stone on the board. So,
what is happening here?
I'm Oblivion
She's
Stone.
just using Oblivion... No, she's putting a fate counter on.
For all the viewers out there, Annie is pretty new to Modern, I think. And she just recently bought a deck, so this kind of...
no, do you know why? Because she wants to crack the other Oblivion Stone, and she just missed Indestructible.
Yes.
Because now it's kind of, now she can crack the Oblivion Stone while keeping the Ulamog alive, but Ulamog has Indestructible. If Ulamog didn't have Indestructible, this would be a sweet play. But right here, more Masters, and this is close to the whole deck here already. But this is pretty safe here. Like, this is, even if she missed it, this play can't do anything to cost her the game. She has Oblivion Stone still up. It was just too fancy, and now in response to okay, this
should come into play trigger.
Yeah.
So the creature is in play and will get destroyed by Oblivion Stone, of course. She's losing.
But she doesn't need to crack the Oblivion Stone now. She's just.
What is she do? Okay, he's going to bounce Ulamog.
Yeah.
He needs to do that.
But then he's just dead on board, because Oblivion Stone will kill all his creatures, and then
it will kill
recast. Oblivion Stone will kill all creatures right now, because why not?
Yes.
And that is an empty board. Oblivion Stone will also kill its other Oblivion Stone cousin. That's also gone now. Spreading Seas is gone. And now Christian, let's see what he can come up with. It needs to involve Ceremonious Rejection, and even then it's not very good. But also, he's got like approximately 3 cards left in his library. There were 2 Ceremonious Rejections milled. There was 1 cast, so I think that was all 3 that he has in his board, so they're all gone, as far as I'm aware.
You did the maths, and I think it's right. Yeah, 3 in his stat
I'm pretty sure I saw 2 in the Ulamog Exile piles. Definitely 1, because it's right on top. There's 1 in the graveyard. But maybe we see him going through if there's another Ceremonious Rejection.
No,
there's another one,
there's
right?
another one in the
so all
exile
of those are gone.
Pile. Well, this is not being mean, but it's just being honest. This is totally in favor of Annie here.
She could even hardcast Emerald Crude. Ian's turn. Torn right now. She's got access to 16 mana here on this nice board. Yeah. Walking Ballista for 8 is also an option if you draws it. But right now, this little Eldrazi that could Ulamog, more than good enough here. His hunger is ceaseless. It will eat away all of the fish sticks that are put towards it.
Yeah.
With or without any nice condiments, but generally no more fish.
Maybe he left the Curated Great Glass Spinner in his deck so that Ulamog trigger and Khan trigger being countered. What would you say? Might
Sounds
have been a
bad,
decision
but
point,
yeah,
but I would not do that because when they're being deployed,
yeah, it's too
it's
late.
most
It's
likely
too late.
game over.
Like, I like Path to Exile against Tron simply because it gets rid of all of the threats for 1 mana, and you can get rid of Wormcores and Word Breakers if they deploy it. But you don't want to fight the top end. It's like you know, you're boarding in something like a Dreadbone. You're like, yeah, I can answer this Oogie now. It's like not good.
You can fight the top end with a 1 mana spell, which is called Ceremonious Rejection.
Yeah, that's good.
So we see Ethervile and
Reachery,
being cast with another Mirror Reachery and I don't know card in hand.
Ulamog is back.
Ulamog is
What
being
a
cast.
surprise.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's
It
the same.
No,
As long as you get rid of the
Reach.
Reachery, it really doesn't matter whether the other card is a Vial or a land. And then Sylvan's Crying.
Now
getting-
she has
I would get
2
go-
pieces of everyone, of everything.
Yeah, so I would get Ghost Quarter.
Or it does not matter.
No, it
really
doesn't.
does
But
not
I
matter.
think I would get Ghost Quarter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. But still, Ghost Quarter
Yeah.
just
no.
means, I don't know.
No,
It's Sanctum, okay, sure.
this is of course the correct play, but because it does not really matter, you could get anything. But of course, you take Sanctum of Ugin if you like somehow this creature is being handled, but there's no way, no card, no interaction left in the MERFOLK deck which could deal with this situation.
Yeah, then
efficiently.
Control Magic would be nice in Modern. Imagine he just cast Control Magic here and
Oh,
stole
for
the
fun.
Ulamog.
No, Treachery.
Treachery would be nice too. It would cost more mana though. But here's the handshake. Christian in his hand just got some more Lord effects, and the Harbinger don't do anything here. Yeah, we saw Tron doing Tron things. 16 mana in the end. We have a rejection, Sylvan Scrying shown to the camera here. I'm not exactly sure what Annie wants to tell us with it, except that it's a great card. It gets you Tron. Getting you Tron is good. Having Tron means you get to Ulamog people. Ulamogging people is fun. Definitely for
It
Annie.
is, for sure.
We have to ask Christian if it was fun for him getting Ulamog twice. He himself made him get Ulamog twice because he bounced it once. He didn't have an option here.
No,
we
he
saw
did
Spatial
not.
Contortion getting in. Totally agree with that. Spatial Contortion, nice.
Thoughtnots
Thoughtnots getting in too. I totally agree with that too because it's the nice
okay,
thing
you
that
can do
bridges
that.
the gap, just gets rid of some of the top end, and even the Nature's Claims got boarded in two. No Warpig Whales. I like that. And yeah, let's see if we can get some light into Christian's sideboarding decisions here, because they seemed a bit mysterious to us here throughout
Yes.
that match.
But we could get some insights, a lot of insights because of the Ulamog triggers. And what we did see was
Negates
four
and
cross
rejections
and
came in.
Crosscatcher being boarded out.
Yeah.
I think we really saw a picture perfect example of how MERFOLK loses this matchup.
Yeah.
You do not have early threats. You just disrupt the Tron play a little bit, but without pressure on board. And you do not have enough disruptive spells or card advantage, etc. in your deck that you can do that for quite some time. You usually have a few turns while you apply pressure with Crosscatcher, Silver Chill Adepts, lot, Mutavault, etc. And then you're like one spell Beers or Negate or Crosscatcher, Sylvan Scrying. This is the way you go usually.
Yeah, you're more of a... You just need to be an aggro deck. You value, like, big
Tempo.
cards don't
Tempo.
do anything. Yeah, but the tempo angle is nice, but I think you also need to have the all-out damage on the board per card, per turn, aggro angle as well.
Yes,
you need to have the tempo bit...
this is the tempo play in this deck.
Yeah.
This is the tempo play.
Sure. But your tempo play needs to involve a lot of damage. Your tempo play is not have one creature and then counter everything. You can't counter everything. You need to have a lot of aggression on the board and then use your counter spells on the threats that matter and your disruption on what matters and punch through the damage.